And we're back. Let it build up a little bit. Let me share it again,
Think
and
big.
hopefully
Yeah,
people have not completely given up
people come
on
back
us.
on
Yeah,
us.
guys. Oh gosh, but the old one would have the
5 minutes is a
questions. I
long
can't
time
even
into the
remember what the
land.
questions were.
Well, ask people to type them back. Just copy and paste them.
Yeah. All right, guys. We're okay. Let me change this. I don't know why it goes to. It always goes to. It doesn't go to public though for some reason. So yes, I have two people back on. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So they are coming back on slowly. Nice, nice. So guys, yeah, this is what happens when we have technology issues, unfortunately. Did you share this on your page, Tashia?
I probably didn't. How am I supposed to do that?
Listen,
Should
Gil,
I just go back on
honestly.
Facebook and just now?
But not if it's going
I
to
didn't
cut
do
you off.
that.
Not if
Oh
it's going
my
to cut you off,
god.
though.
Well,
I
I'll
mean, if
share
you
it
could do it on
after.
it,
I did tell people to tune in.
right.
So I'm hoping that people could see it after, and people could still send me questions via inbox, or it doesn't. I don't need a live to answer questions, so people could still
True.
question me at any time. Um, my inbox is open. So
So
anything that you
true.
want to, in fact, I kind of want to set up a Zoom chat room so that I can be online a lot more, and people could
Mm-hmm.
enter the chat room and we could just chat like this. You can ask questions and contribute and that kind of thing. And I can just get interactive online with people who prefer that medium.
Right,
Because of
right.
COVID, obviously, we still have to practice the social distancing and things like that. So the campaign will be different this year. Actually, 2020 is such a, I don't even know how to describe 2020.
This
2020 has
this
been a year and a
this one
half.
is kicking our
Yeah.
butts. You
So,
know.
yeah. So I think every strategy that any political party would have used in the past, they kind of have to do some rethinking now in light
Yeah.
of everything that is happening. So technology is going to be at the forefront of the campaign. So the idea is that I'll be online more. Now that I'm a little bit more comfortable with the live and I know what works and the best
Yes,
lighting
sir.
in my apartment and stuff, then I
You-
know that when to come
If
on
you
and
all
that
knew
kind of
how,
thing.
if you all
So
knew, I had to say to this girl, listen, let us do this. Let us
the
do this.
bacana.
Do you have,
I don't
listen,
like
you all have
how
no idea how difficult this process was setting up to get this done. We need to get you into this century. So Lorenz is saying it's a good idea to set up like the
yes,
chat room and that kind of thing. So,
sadder.
yeah.
Right.
And the good thing, Facebook also
So I
now
guess
has
just to
their
finish off the
rooms.
answer, my
So
right. So I
we could
can
play
now
with Facebook rooms
utilize
and have a
that
PDP
feature.
Facebook room and that kind of thing. So yeah, go back to you answering your
Right.
question.
Nice. 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 Ooh, Basdio Pandey. I used to watch Parliament clips on the news just to hear Basdio Pandey talk. So you would hope to be half as good or even one quarter as good as Mr. Pandey was. Mr. Pandey and Mr. Manning,
Mm-hmm.
from an oratory standpoint, were best that I've seen.
Yeah.
And getting into politics, certainly, I kind of want to emulate the way that they were able to hold your attention. They might have been debating the most boring thing in the world and you would not have known because they were crafters
It would
of
get you.
stories. They used to weave sentences together in a way that just, yeah. So, Anna Robinson, top of the list. Basdeo Pandey, Patrick Manning, simply because they spoke the best. I mean,
Yeah.
we can argue about whether they were good in terms of policy and fiscal development and all these things, but if you're just looking at the bare politics, those guys, especially in the heat of the moment on the platform, nobody could touch them. Nobody could touch them. So I have to put those two there.
So
Oh
guys,
no, let
just
me put one more
reminding.
into the atmosphere. Actually,
Wait,
Mr. Duke. the Duke is not bad himself. I have been on a platform, and on a particular night,
Uh-huh.
I literally said, this man could walk people off a cliff. And I'm not putting that
Wow.
mildly. He has that ability. I think that when he is really into the moment and really passionate about whatever he's talking about, he's up there with some of the best that I've played. So I have to give him that plug.
Oh, that's cool, guys. If you had typed a question before, because this is a brand new live, we don't have the comments from before. So please indulge us and type it again here if you really, really want that question answered. Until then, though, let me ask you some other non-political questions. Like, what are some of your favorite things?
Yes.
Like your favorite color, and what do you like to do best when you are relaxing?
Right. So would it be crazy if I just said my favorite color is black? Because my favorite color actually is black. Most of
Black.
my clothing is black. I
Okay, good.
love dark colors. So black, gray, navy blue, those are my favorite colors. I think that they exude strength and power and grace. And my middle name is Grace. So I just have to, yeah, black makes me feel like
Hmm.
Hulk, even though I'm
Good.
small. But yeah, black makes me feel powerful, and yeah, black makes me feel powerful. I feel like if I can take over the world when I'm wearing a
Mm.
perfect black suit or the perfect black item of clothing. So I love black. I love black, gray, navy blue. Those are my colors.
Cool, cool. And what do you do when you are not working? When you're just relaxing?
What do I enjoy?
Cool.
Oh, I love to travel. I absolutely love to get on a plane and go to somewhere that I've never been before and discover new cultures and meet people from all over the world. I
Mhm.
love to travel. I actually make sure to travel at least twice per year. That is my recreation. So you won't find me out in parties and liming, and I would save my money to buy a plane ticket. My kids know that. They know that when mommy works, the thing that she wants. I don't buy clothes. I'm not into clothing. I'm not into shoes and handbags and these things. I just want a plane ticket and a backpack, and I would go and just see what is out there. So I love to travel. I love nature. So when I'm home, I always like to be out. So COVID really kind of affected me because I wasn't able to just go because actually I usually
Right.
travel around the same time every year. So now I'm supposed to be getting ready to go out the country, and I can't
Mm.
go anywhere. So yeah, being home and I mean mentally and it had me thinking, how do people survive prison? Because I was home, I'm free, but you can't
Yeah.
leave and go anywhere.
Leave.
You can't get up and go when you want to.
Yeah.
So I could never imagine getting locked up. I will not do anything that would risk me ending up in prison
You better
because
not.
I need my freedom. No, I need my freedom. So travel, anything with nature. So beach, hiking, anything like that. Um, these days, I've learned to love playing Uno with my daughter. She
Okay.
is one dread Uno player. So she beats me and she smiles, and she beats me again and she smiles. She stacks the cards and she smiles, and I just have to give up. So spending time with my children, just having them around me. So yeah, they could be on the devices, but just knowing that they're
Big.
physically there, that
Yeah.
brings me a lot of comfort. I love to read. I love books.
Oh, please tell me this is not happening.
Love to read. I've probably read you would find me in a book. So travel, nature, hiking. I love motorcycles. I love motorcycles,
Okay.
but I will never buy one, and I'll probably never learn how to ride. But I love. There's a thing about motorcycles that excites me. So I've ridden on the back of one like 2 times. I you do something in your life to just say that you did it.
You did
I did
it.
it and
Yeah, yeah,
enjoyed
yeah.
it, but I'm not sure if I wanted to do it again. Yeah. But reading, being with my kids, and again helping people. I get so much joy, honestly, from seeing people happy. I
Mm.
get so much
Hmm.
joy from knowing that I helped in some small way, and it's not to blow my own horn or to take a picture or anything like that, but it's just that there's so much bad in this world already. So if you can do one
True.
small thing to make somebody smile, that is joy for me. So that's where I get the most excitement. That's what I love to do. So
So Aisha is asking, what is your favorite book besides the Bible?
besides the Bible, um, I would have to say my favorite book that I've read so far is the autobiography of Malcolm
Malcolm
X.
X. Okay.
That book, I would have to say that because I don't like the term politician. I prefer the term representative.
Mm.
But in terms of the brand of politics that I think I am closely aligned to, it will be him. You know, I admire Martin. Because Martin was always preaching the idea of love, and
Right.
they hit one cheek and they turn the other, and that kind of thing. But there's a brand of
Yeah.
politics that Malcolm preached, which was it's time to get militant. And I believe that sometimes when words fail, you had
You
to
have
get
to
on
act.
into the action. Yeah. And I think it's time that we start to act, because militancy can't go on forever. There are times that it's necessary. There's a time for democracy, and there's a time for affirmative action.
Mm.
There's a time for people to get up and start to demand more, and demand better for
Yeah.
themselves and their families, and demand better for their generation, because we will die and leave everything here. What are we leaving for our children? What are we leaving for our grandchildren? And we are seeing
True.
a select group of people raping the country, raping our patrimony, and that we can no longer be passive to that kind of thing. And this is where we need to get active. We need to speak out. I am not advocating anybody pick up a gun and take law into their own hands, but certainly your voice is the first thing you
Must be
have.
heard. Yeah.
You have your voice, and if you feel you don't have your voice, then the pen sometimes is mightier than the sword. And even if
Mm-hmm.
that fails, you have access to the people who have voices, and you have access to the people who have pens. Use them. Tell your story so that they can amplify your story. And that is where I see myself as a representative. I think I saw a question: what would make me different from previous MPs?
The
You would
other
see that
MPs.
MPs go to yeah, you would see MPs go to Parliament and basically speak from their point of view, their opinion. So I'm a
Mm-hmm.
PNM MP. PNM bring a bill, I support PNM. But I didn't ask my constituents what they
Constituents.
thought. I didn't ask my constituents what they wanted. I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So when I stand up and I support something, I don't have the backing of my constituents because I didn't even ask them. I am more concerned about my party. We need to stop that.
Yeah.
When I go to represent, I represent my people. I represent their interests. I tell their stories because they don't have a voice. They are not in
True.
parliament. I am in parliament, so I am their voice there. That is who I plan to be. I plan to amplify the concerns of every Tobagonian in the place that it needs to be heard, which is the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago. And it's about time that Tobago gets the respect that it deserves. For far too long, we have allowed ourselves to be treated like little children. And we've had persons
True.
who have held positions of leadership who have been content to be
To
treated
treat
like
us
little
right.
children because they paid to be treated like little children. It is time to stop that. It is time for us to get up and take our place. If we say side by side, we shouldn't have to wait for somebody to pass a law to tell us we can stand up and take our place. You could be man
True.
in your own house if you stand up and take your place. You don't need nobody to tell you that you're old enough to be man in your own house. And this is the thinking that we have to change. Yes, the system needs to change, but change starts with people. People have to now accept that they deserve better, that what we have been getting is not what we deserve. So when we start to talk to ourselves as if we deserve better, because one of our biggest issues is the idea of a scarcity mentality, that
Yeah.
only the people who hold privileges could get, and everybody else have
Yes.
to suffer. There's
Subsoles.
too much. We have so many resources. We have more than enough to go around. So there's no scarcity here. The idea is that there has been an equal distribution of the resources that are there. That needs to stop.
Mm-hmm.
And people need to demand respect. Nobody should come in your house and buy your vote for a hamper. Tell them your vote is worth more than that. Tell them, what are you showing up for my generations? Ask them what plans you have to ensure that my grandchildren and my great grandchildren could stay in Tobago, get proper health care, could go to school, can get qualified, can come back and contribute to continue to build this place and run this place. Ask them those questions. See what they tell you. You will know the measure of a man when you know the plans he has for you. And if all he could give you is a hamper and a bottle of punching, I don't
Waste of
think that is
time.
a representative you should try to be for.
And that's a good way to.
So,
I am having a hard time figuring out how to pronounce this word, so I'm just going to say Chris. Chris says people deserve performance, people deserve representation, and I think that's a perfect summary of what you
yes.
just said. Let me go back to a question that Dominic asked before. What are you scared of, or what will get you scared in life? Hmm. Hmm. Very interesting question.
Well, um, I could give one of those real shallow answers. I hate cockroaches, so don't. A cockroach will literally have me jumping. If a cockroach fly here, no, you will see me. You will not see me. I would disappear from the screen so fast. I absolutely hate cockroaches, but that's a shallow answer. What am I scared of? I probably think that there's only one thing that I'm truly afraid of, and that is I feel I would be afraid of dying without feeling like if I fulfilled my purpose in life.
Hmm.
I want to die empty. At the point that I come to death, I want to know that I did the thing that I was purposed to do in this life. And whenever death comes, whether it be now, next 5 years, next 100 years, that I must feel like if the God that created me is proud of me, that I did his work. Yes, I fell along the way. Yes, I sinned. Yes, I didn't always follow in his instructions. Yes, I ran. I think I ran from my purpose a lot in my earlier years
Before.
because for some, I
Okay.
think I saw somebody talk about, um, what I could have been in life. I think I saw a question on the previous life,
Yeah, there was a
what I
question
could have.
about what else could you
Right.
have done and
So
why are you getting into
I
politics now? Yeah.
well, you see, that's the thing. Everything that I've tried in my life, I've never really failed. I've never failed an exam in school. I've never failed an exam primary school, high school, university. I've never failed an exam. I've only actually failed one exam in my entire life, and that was my first driving test. I failed my driving test the first time I took it because I was so scared. So my foot was jumping off the clutch, and it was with Stuarty, and he was just short and intimidated. So I failed my driver's test. I went back and aced it like 2 weeks later. But it was the only thing that I ever failed. So everything that I've tried, I've always just been good at it. So I
Yeah.
could have been anything I wanted to be. But I think that my talent that the Lord blessed me with was really this voice that I have. I've always just had the ability to inspire people and make them hope. And believe in me, and more than just believing in me. Because if you get somebody to believe in you, you could be a con artist, you could con them out of their money and that kind of thing. But
Sure.
because I have this passion for truly helping people, my voice is just an arsenal of things that I have, um, that makes me, I think, very much ready to enter this world that I've entered. I have a lot of things to learn about politics, but I think
Hmm.
it first starts with a passion, and it first starts with a passion for people, because the fame will come, the glory would come later. the image would come. But at the end of the day, the thing that should be getting you out of bed every single day in politics is how many people I can help today, how much people I could empower, how many things that I
Right.
can do to get people to live the life that they want to live, to get access to the opportunities that they should get access to to just thrive. And that is what excites me. We have this golden opportunity to create paradise. I
We
want to be a
do.
part of that. I want to be part of something epic. And I want that at the end of it, we could all, we could all stand together and be like, yeah, we did this. And it didn't matter what side of the divide you were on, because political parties is just basically philosophy. But if the philosophy is people, then it
Mm-hmm,
doesn't
mm-hmm.
matter what political party you're a member of. You should be happy when people thrive. You should be happy when people
True.
are happy. So everything that has happened in my life has led me to this place. So the only thing I can say that I'm scared of is just not feeling like if I fulfilled my purpose in the time that I had on earth. And outside of that, as a mother, my fear would be burying my children. I don't ever want
Uh,
to know what something
yeah,
like that feels like. I've seen it
seems like.
happen. I've seen other mothers have to go through that. And I'm not certain that that is something that I could. I'm not certain what kind of strength that I would have to live through something like that. And I don't ever want to find out. So as I said, my children are like my heart and soul walking outside of my body. And I think that they are the best representation of the best parts of me. And I just want to see them grow and live and thrive and become successes in whatever they choose to do. And I want to be there to support them all the way. I want to be there for all these special things, birthdays and
Yeah, the little thing.
milestones, when you get married, grandchildren, all of these things. I want to be a 17-year-old grandmother. So I want to look like this when they have grandkids of their own. I'll be the cool granny. I'll be the cool granny because I'll literally kind of just look like their big sister. So and I'll be the one like giving them ice cream when the parents, I think grandparents. I see when you become a grandparent, you can't discipline your grandchildren really because they are just there. You're just there for their pleasure. And I think even when I look at how my parents deal with my kids, is like they was never like me when I was small.
Yep.
So my kids get away with things, but I think that when you become a grandparent, it's like you just want to see your kids happy. You want to see your grandchildren happy. So you get
Flourish.
the parents are there to do the parenting. You get to do the grandparenting, and grandparenting is just making sure that they follow all the time. I could remember staying at my grandparents' house in Palatine for August holidays, right? And I would always look forward to going up there. You know why? At Granny's house, I ate 5 times a day because I think people from the country they have this thing. If they don't see you eating, it's
Something
like
wrong.
I don't know. It's like they show their love with food,
Mm-hmm.
So you would wake up and you get this big piece of bacon, fried fish, and cocoa tea, and then snack is banana or chenet or cherry or whatever in season because they had a lot of fruit trees around, cane and
Mm-hmm.
all these things. And then lunchtime is a big plate of food, and then you have more thing to eat in the afternoon, sweet bread, like Granny would make sweet bread and this kind of thing. And then after that is supper. You don't get everything when you're in town. So it's literally like you spend the whole day eating. And I think that is a country thing because even when you look at harvest and these things, people may
Yeah.
not have much money, but when you go by certain places for harvest, people would come and bring food, and food is a ritual for us. So
Mm-hmm.
you have harvest, even for weddings, people would come and cook and kill cow and pig and goat and wherever and cook up, and the men would get together and cook, the women would bake the bread, even funerals. I mean, COVID has
Yeah.
really, yeah, our rituals have taken a beating with COVID because it's like I,
Sure.
I really have to I sympathize with the people who are not able to grieve in the way that they would want to. And it's something that I'm realizing that we really have to cherish, which is that act of grieving, because there is a ritual in that. There
Mm-hmm.
there is the wake night. there are the songs at the graveside. You know,
Yeah.
there's the coffee and the crepes and the telling stories and the viewing of the body, and even the person who balling out in the church who don't know who dead, who asking who dead after. All of that, all of those
Part
are
of the
rituals,
ritual.
and COVID
Yeah.
has really, yeah, this social distancing thing has been, I don't know, and I don't know if we'll ever get back to that. Maybe our rituals have to evolve by force,
Mhm.
but I don't want us to lose that part of our history because um, I
Yeah,
think
that would be sad.
food is love. Tobago, and Tobago is so beautiful. We just don't know the things that we have, and I think COVID has made me appreciate my island even more and appreciate my people even more, you know. And I think being alive right now is a blessing. As much as 2020 has been kicking us, we're still here, you know. And I
Hmm.
think we should just try to make the best of it. So do better. Every day you wake up, do better. Be
But
better, do better. And that's important.
true. So Sean is asking, and maybe this is how we could evolve. How can technology be used to develop Tobago? And he also asks another question about, given the fact that we had these issues with the live, and the fact that we had to fall off was because of technological issues. How could we improve that? What can we do?
Right. So, okay. So I have two school age children, right? And this is just an example. They have been having issues rolling out online technology um, for weeks now. I think they're only now starting to get something together. And even then,
Mm.
it still seems to be problematic. On an island the size of Tobago, by right, we should have had island-wide Wi-Fi already, right?
Free.
We should have been able to free island-wide Wi-Fi. And I'm not
Yeah.
talking about the kind of Wi-Fi where you could just log on in your house and download 5 gigs of movies. But you can set up the network in such a way that you could only access government sites. You could only access sites for learning so that your
Right.
children would be the ones who would benefit from it. If you want your private Wi-Fi, you still have your private providers for your own entertainment. But the
Yeah.
island
Yeah.
wide Wi Fi should be for basic services so that no child should have had the issue where they don't have access to Wi Fi. There should have been Wi Fi in every single village. It should have been rolled out and it should have been
Yeah.
working. That's the first thing. The
True.
second thing is that again, having come through the system with both my son and still going through the system with my daughter, I think textbooks are a thing that should be relegated to the past. When everything is available on PDF on your tablet and everything could be done interactively and stuff, why we still have children walking around like donkeys with heavy book bags? I mean,
Right.
again, Tobago. There are simple things that can be done. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. We are not the
Mhm.
first island country, whatever you want to call it, in the world who has an educational system. We have not
True.
been using technology. We have continued to buy into the idea of a textbook racket. We have continued to subject our children to being weighed down like donkeys and horses and having issues with their back carrying all these heavy books when all of those things can be downloaded onto a tablet or accessed through a cloud facility. You can
Yeah.
set up databases in each school so that a parent can check their child's progress. They can look how they perform in tests. I mean, you don't have to wait for a child to bring home a report for you. The report should be available online.
Yeah.
I have heard teachers complain, oh, parents not coming to collect reports. And there are two sides of that argument. I'm not going to get into that. But for a parent who uses technology, it should be as simple as logging on to the school's database. The parent has a user ID. I can go and pull up my child's profile. I can see that he had
Yeah.
a math test last week. I can see that he got
Hmm.
10 out of 20. I don't have to wait for him to bring the paper for me to see that he got 10 out of 20. And even now, funny enough, with my daughter, especially doing school online, because her teachers
Yeah.
have set up an online classroom, and one of her teachers also sends work for her. So she's getting two sets of work. She's actually more happier now at home doing
Mm.
school online because
Okay.
she has her schedule. School is from 10 to 2 and she can be doing her schoolwork and she's sitting in the living room eating cornflakes. And when she wants to go to the bathroom, she gets up, goes to the bathroom, and come back and finishes her work. She is in
Yeah.
her home. She has air condition. She has a fan. She has,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
she wants to play music, she can do that. Another child not poking she and begging she to borrow she eraser, and she's comfortable, and actually she's been happier since lockdown. I've seen a whole different side of her. She's actually thriving, I think, in lockdown now that school
Yeah.
is online, because and it made me see that school seems to be a pressure environment for children now.
Hmm.
I could remember when I was in school, we used to go on field trips. My daughter has
Yeah.
never gone on a field trip since standard 3, and they cut out all of these things. But these were the things that help the children become
To
imaginative.
develop.
These are the things that develop the critical thinking skills.
Yeah.
Because when you take them out, instead of them doing a project where they have to build a replica of Tobago and point out for tourist attractions, take the children to the attractions. Let them
The
go and see.
attractions.
Let them ask the tour
Yeah.
guides questions. Let them go and stand in the spot, even if they want to take a video or take a selfie to say that they were there, so that if a tourist walks up to a child, they can say that they were there, and that is what they
Yeah.
saw. And there's a snow man by the corner who has excellent snow cone. And when you go there, there's a mystery tombstone and there's an inscription on it that I can't really remember, but it's really cool. And these are the things that we should be engaging our children in. Our children should be able to not just read about the Book Reef, but go and see what the Book Reef
Be
looks like.
there.
And I
Experience it.
know, the ministry has their guidelines, and teachers have their concerns, but we are seeing the standard of education drop in our children. Even when they change the C exam to only now focus on maths, English, and creative writing, you are literally taking children from studying maths, English, creative writing for 2 years straight. Give them an exam in April. Give them results in June. Take them to high school in September, where they now have to do 13 and 14 subjects.
Everything.
So
Yeah.
how do you switch that mindset from 3 to 14?
Mm-hmm.
And they don't have a transition period to get them acclimatized to what would be expected of them in first
In
form. So you would
secondary.
find, at
Yeah.
least with my son, his first 3 years of high school were literally a waste for him, because the teachers basically said they have to start from scratch.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that we are doing our children a disservice, because when I did science and social studies, these were the topics that had you asking the what, the who, the why, the where. These were where those skills were being developed, because math is math. It's black and white. It's either right or wrong, right?
Yeah.
Creative writing is subjective, so it's all about expression. But when you have social studies and science, you are asking the questions, you are forcing them to think. You don't give them the answer because there could be more than one answer to the question. But you're
True.
engaging them
True.
in discussion, and you're forcing them to go and do research. A lot of children, when they get into high school, they don't even know how to research anything,
Never done
because
it.
we don't have the
Yeah.
subjects that encourage them to do the research. So Tobago has the potential, if we choose to make the investments in technology, not just in education, but in healthcare, in tourism, and all of these areas. I think that we have tried too long to reinvent the wheel. The technology exists. It exists somewhere in the world.
It's just
We
out
could look
there.
to
Yeah.
places like Japan, China, other small island developing states. The technology exists. We just have to know what we want. We have to craft the vision. The first thing is we have to have the conversation. Where do we want to see Tobago in 20 years? When we could craft the vision and we agree this is where we want to go, then we can look for the technology that would get us to where we have to go. And if
Yeah.
the technology doesn't exist, then we have bright people right here in Tobago who could create
Who
it.
can do it?
We,
So
we, I mean, in the past, when you heard about Tobagonians are bright people, and I believe we are bright people. So we have the resources to be able to craft our destiny. I believe that.
So Mark is asking, what is your biggest desire for the people of Tobago? I think you already started answering that question. What is your biggest
My
desire?
biggest desire is that the people of Tobago demand respect, that they
Hmm.
are not, or they will no longer be afraid to demand respect, and they will not be afraid to craft their own destiny. That
Hmm.
we would stop depending on somebody for a handout, that we would stop depending on somebody to be good to us, that we would stop waiting on somebody to do something for us. We
for us.
have the resources, we just need the will. I want
Yeah,
Tobagonians to develop that will. We have to develop that, they call it belly. Where we belly gone. I need Tobagonians who willing to stand up and say, that is a wrong thing. Let me
yeah,
stop that.
yeah,
Let us care about one another again. Let us care about our generations again. I want Tobagonians to stop seeing along party lines and just see people, see the island, see the paradise that we live in, and ask ourselves every day, how can I add value? Can I
yeah.
make this place better? How can I
Better.
contribute? How can I, what skills and talents do I have? How can I give back? I mean, if you're not living to give and serve your fellow man, what are you really here for? So I think that we need to emphasize more on taking care of each other, because if somebody takes care of you, if you take care of somebody, chances are somebody else going to take care of you. And if we take care of each
True.
other, then nobody will be left behind, right? If we look for one another, nobody would be left behind. So I want us to get back to that family, get back to that Tobago that we lived in before, where if one eat, everybody eats, and if
Everybody
one
eat.
starve, we all starving.
So Giselle is asking, and I have to read the rest of it. You're a woman of substance, the nexus, strength and substance. The nexus, what are your weaknesses going into electoral politics? And have you identified what are the opportunities to transition your weaknesses?
Right. So I think one of the weaknesses is the idea that we have to carve out a Tobago voice again. Um, I think we have been suffering because Tobago's voice always gets lost in the national conversation. So it's almost like if we start with a negative, we have to
Hmm.
make noise to be heard. And it really shouldn't be like that. We should be walking into a system where Tobago should be treated separate and apart from what is taking place nationally. Because you can't treat Tobago like a village or a borough, or a town. Tobago is not a borough, Tobago is not a town. Tobago is a country. We have to start behaving like if Tobago is a country. So when we
Mm-hmm.
start to act like we're a country, that the highest office holder is equivalent to the highest office holder over there in mindset, in office, because I mean perks and stuff, all of that is system
Secondary,
things.
yeah.
But the idea is that the office of the chief secretary should be just as respected as the office of the prime minister. And you're not seeing that. So that as somebody going in, not with any ruling party or any party that has been in governance in Trinidad, at the level of central government that is. So this is not PNN, this is UNC, this is PDP, this is a
Mm-hmm.
Tobago party. We would have to go down there and literally light the place on fire.
Yeah.
But the thing is that we're lighting the place on fire for Tobago people. That's what we're doing. We're not representing the interests of the party. The party is the vehicle. The people
Yeah.
is the
Yeah.
engine. The people is the gas. The people is the thing that gets the thing running and keeps it running. So one of the biggest weaknesses we have is that we have to change our culture down there where they believe that we have to ask for permission to speak. We have to demand our
Hmm.
place. That's where we're at. We can no longer wait for them to give us a seat at the table. We have to
To
demand
give
a
us
seat at the table.
permission. Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So I think at least my weakness would be navigating that, because 1976, when Mr. Robinson and Mr. Murray were down there, is far different to 2020. There's a
True.
lot more
True.
at stake in 2020 because there are so many um, interests. Because when you hear about party financing and these kinds of things, these guys are beholden to all kinds of people,
Mm-hmm.
so that they don't really care about Tobago. They'll throw us a bone, and if we shut up and accept it, then they'll
We're
forget about us
good.
because we're too busy chewing on our bone,
Mm.
right? But then when you talk about upsetting the apple cart, when you talk about walking into a place and demanding your respect on behalf of your people,
Yeah.
and doing what it takes to do, then we're talking about a whole different conversation. So how do I plan to channel that weakness? Well, I see representing Tobago people from a standpoint of an independent Tobago party as the biggest strength that we have, because we are not beholden to anybody's interests
Anybody.
across the sea. That the people that we answer to are the 60,000 people on this rock, right? You will never hear us sell our interests for a financer or no. I always maintain our employers are the people on this island. We are
Yep.
your voices down there. And trust that anything that we say is because you have demanded it of us to say on your behalf. So I think that it actually provides the perfect opportunity starting from the back for us to be able to bulldoze our way through the front door. And I'm actually very excited. Honestly, I am looking forward to creating some ruction in the place.
Listen, for the
I think that,
parliamentary
yeah, that
channel to
excites
be
me.
lit.
You
Would be
get me.
understood you. Parliamentary channel would be
Yeah,
lit.
I'm already seeing as soon as they see us on the order paper to speak, they groan in because it's like, oh gosh, them again. They're going to talk about something in Tobago. Yes, we
Tobago.
fighting for the people. Yes, we going dog fighting for the people, and this is a beautiful time to be alive and to see all of this taking place, because also, I mean, and this is just me getting very serious here. We are between the devil and the deep blue sea. We have
Yeah.
a government that people can't trust. That is the bottom line. With
Yep.
everything that is being revealed right now, we are having trust issues with the government of the day. Don't mind the response to COVID and who coming out like statesman and talking the talk now. The things that they should have been doing since the beginning of their term, they're now trying to do with this economic recovery team, because they should have the
Exactly.
role of the government is to make the country better. You can't tell me it's only in crisis you're now thinking about how to improve
What
the
to
lives
do?
of people.
Yeah.
No, that should have been an ongoing conversation. That should have been the first order of business when you went there. So don't miss me with that, right? So we have a government that that people can't trust, because I myself am
True.
very skeptical. When you are faced with facts, you have questions, and I have serious questions over their credibility at this point. But on the flip side, we have our opposition. The message might be credible, but the messengers, we have questions about the messengers. You understand?
Major
So
questions.
we between the devil and the people, see major questions about those people. So when you have that situation where, and I think this is the situation where the first time in history where the
Yeah.
nation really doesn't have a third option. Tobago has
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
real option. Tobago has a real option. The only thing that I can do is show people what I can give. I mean, yes, I can tell you about my qualifications. I can tell you where I've worked. I can tell you all my experience. But you just need to judge me based on what you see. And if you
Yeah.
think that I can do the job, and if you believe in me and you're willing to work with me, then I will go there and I will fight for you. I will bleed for you. I can make that promise. You know what Mr. Duke gives. Mr. Duke has been a fighter for a very long
From
time.
day one.
He has carved his name out, and that cannot be disputed. And in this time, I think Tobago needs those voices. We need people who willing to open their mouth for Tobago instead of cussing you and telling you, well, all are not suffering because all have almond milk on the shelves.
Ridiculous.
Funny enough, I went to the supermarket sometime back. The last time I went to the supermarket, because I haven't been to the supermarket since this COVID thing. I don't like to line up. So as soon as I see the lines, I just drive off. And funny enough, and the individual was right, there was almond milk on the
Almond
shelves, but
milk.
there was no flour.
Yeah. Yeah.
There
Yeah.
was almond milk, there was no sugar, there were no basic food items. So the thing that you are using to judge us by our ability to feed ourselves is the thing that most of us can't even afford.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
the things
And we
that
don't
most
use
of
it.
us don't even buy. And that's the
Yeah.
thing. But most of the things that we use in we can't get.
Yeah.
You know, and I laughed when I saw it. I thought of the individual immediately when I saw it. I said, well, we are starving because we have our money. Yeah.
But you know,
So,
it's like today when
but
I heard another one of them say that when the APT James comes, the fast ferry finally comes, Tobago should have a holiday to celebrate it. And I'm thinking, you have got to be kidding. I actually wrote a post today where I said, you know, yes, it's coming and yes, it's pretty and yes, it's nice, but it's equivalent to a man coming with a diamond ring and a dozen roses for you after he bust your face last night, after he knock out your teeth last night. Yeah, the diamond ring real, it pretty, it nice, the roses are wonderful, but the kind of heartache you get last night, it is not worth it. You cannot
you know,
genuinely
you,
smile about it. And for him to come and say we should have a
you know,
holiday, and I was like, you don't even understand what has been going on.
you know what is disappointing about all of this? We are getting two brand new boats at the worst that we've ever seen our tourism industry, ever,
Exactly.
right? Our hotels are closed. Our sector is basically dead. It was on life support before, but it's like
Mm-hmm.
almost dead now. So what are you celebrating? Empty boats going back and forth between Trinidad and Tobago. That's we really gonna be celebrating that. That's I don't even want to comment on that because the thing is that again, I think we're getting it twisted. The role of
Yeah.
government is to do things like these. They are supposed to provide a reliable service between the islands. They don't get clapped for that. They don't get clapped for that. You know what they'll get clapped for? If it is we invest in the marketing, if we invest in the facilities, if we invest in the people, so that them boats passing back and forth full every day, that we
Yeah.
can raise the standard of our port in Scarborough, that we can
Mm-hmm.
have an inter-regional ferry service. So one of them boats could sail to Barbados or Grenada
Exactly.
or up the
Yep.
islands, and we have tourists coming from these smaller islands visiting Tobago and us going back and having trade and having all of these things open up the island. Take a clap for that. Don't take a clap for buying the car and you're not putting gas in it and you don't intend to maintain it and all of these things. No, no, you don't take a clap for doing the things you're supposed to do. Take clap for innovation. Take clap for new ideas. Take clap for implementing things more than just the
The
basics,
basics.
right? I think I saw somebody sum it up. It's like applauding a man for buying Pampers for his child.
Exactly.
That's what you're supposed to be doing.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? So you're not allowed to take claps for that. You don't
So
support that.
I have a question here from Jaden. Let me see if I find it. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Hey! Yes, Jaden is his name.
Jaden. What is your plan for the young men of Tobago who are more interested in trade work at an
I'm
early
fixing my
age?
hair. Okay. My son is questioning me like, wow, hey. Okay, so this is my vision. Yeah? If I had my way in the morning, I would revolutionize our educational system.
Hmm.
So I don't think that we should force our children to wait until fourth form to then be able to pick subjects and decide what they want to do.
What they
I
want to do.
think that
Yeah.
early o'clock, especially children who display talents in certain areas, for example, sports, the creative arts, etc., we should have special academies set up for these children. So that if
Mm-hmm.
my son comes to me at the age of 8 and tells me he wants to be an engineer, that I can enroll him in a technical vocational high school so that he is
Right.
busy doing technical vocational subjects instead of drama and Spanish and all of these other things that he really not interested in,
That's no
and he
interested.
really
Yeah.
wants to do physics and chemistry and architecture and woodwork and whatever. So I think that that if we really want to make our educational system first world, we should look at that these specialized schools they have them abroad. You know, you can stream your children into these careers from very, very early. Who says
Yeah.
that a child has to wait till they're 16, 17 to write CXC? Some children write CXC at 12 years old. Why? Because the curriculum
Yep.
for CXC can be taught in 1 year. It's just an exam. But if you're preparing children for the world of work, if you're preparing our children to go to university, then it's not just preparing them for CXC. There's certain skills that they have to learn. They have to learn research methods. They have to learn time management. They have to
Yeah.
learn all different kinds of skills to be able to survive university. In fact, you would find that a lot of our young people, they have a hard time in their first year of university because they're transitioning from a place where their parents and their teachers were behind them 24/7. And in university, nobody not begging you to finish an assignment.
Yeah.
If they say it's due
You do it or
midnight
you
on
do
this,
it.
nobody's calling you to remind you. Exactly. Is that you do it or you don't do it and you fail.
Mm-hmm.
So that we have to start to prepare our children for the realities of the real world. And we can do that earlier. So that for me, I would love to be able to, that if I recognize that my daughter is into football, so she loves football, and I see that she has some talent, that I could immediately roll her in a sporting academy so she can do her
Yeah.
academics as well as her football together, so that I know, okay, she's looking to get a scholarship, she's looking to go out the country. If my child is great at music, I have heard some young women with excellent singing voices, 7 and 8 and 10 and that kind of thing. And I would love to be able for them to go to an academy that they can hone their talent. So whether it be singing or pan or playing an instrument, it doesn't matter. Once they have a creative talent, that they can go to a place that allows them to hone that talent as well as
Yeah.
do their academics. So for me, I would want that we are able to give our children the opportunities at an earlier age to get into the things that they want to get into, so that when they actually are old and become an adult, they are actually experts in their field.
Yeah.
you know my like, for example, my son who asked the question, he wants to be an engineer. If I had my way, I would have taken him out of school since first form, because, as I said, those first 3 years were like a waste. And if it is, he was able to go to a technical vocational academy where he could
Yeah.
get his journeyman certificate, where he could get
Mm-hmm.
certification in plumbing, whether he could get a computer certificate, whatever. After 5 years, my son is so certified in his areas, he can immediately go and work in somebody's businesses or open his own.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have to start from scratch at 17, 18. He already has the knowledge, he has already practiced, he has already, and learned the other skills, because there are other things that come with that, as I say: time management,
Of
self-management,
course. Of
emotional
course.
intelligence, because we have a lot of young people going into the world of work cannot deal with being in the world of work, because working with people is different to being in a group
In
project
a
in school.
classroom.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
so that when you go to the workplace, managing conflict and these kinds of things, simple HR processes, paying taxes, they don't teach these things. You have to learn these things on the fly when you get out. These are the things that we should be teaching our young people in the system, so that you have all these things happening, so that when they come out of the system, there's 360 degrees of development. You have a
Yeah.
well-rounded young person who can take their place in society immediately. They can contribute and add value immediately. They are fully aware of themselves. They are confident. They are happy. And even if they're not, if they're going through things, we should have services that they're able to access. They
Access.
can walk
Mm-hmm.
through a system that they can be assured of confidentiality.
Mm-hmm.
And if one part of it fails, because sometimes some family systems fail, that the community picks up and
You're right.
takes care of that child. That if the school can pick it up and take care of that child. But what we have is a series of failures along the system, and our children are falling through the cracks. So, as I said, we need to have a conversation about what is the vision. What is Tobago vision 20 whenever? What do we as a people want for Tobago? Trinidad will face itself,
2040,
we have to
2060,
decide
all
what
the
we
way
want,
down.
because we cannot continue the way we have been going. Because what will end up happening? We'll end up getting money every single year. 20 years again, we'll pass, and then we'll look back and say, what we really spend our money on? And they can't even point to one thing that changed.
Yeah.
They can't point to one innovation that we introduced. They can't point to one industry that could sustain itself. Our tourism industry might not be resuscitated until at least 2-3 years from now. What is happening in the interim? Basically, Tobago has now been reduced to begging. We begging. We don't have an industry that we could turn to and say, well, okay, tourism is
This
having
is
its
what we.
issues now. We cannot realistically look at, and this is a global thing. It's not a Tobago thing. It's a global thing.
Mm-hmm.
What we know as the tourism industry, the airline industry, has been changed forever. Because after 9/11, things changed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is like 9/11 times. yeah, or times 100,000. So the reality is what was the other thing that Tobago had to look forward to do? Say, well, at least if tourism not working, we have
We
this to
could.
mind ourselves.
Mhm. Or we could at
What is
least
it?
feed
This?
ourselves. Even if
We,
nothing else, we could at least feed
but
ourselves.
that's the thing.
If
We
nothing
can't
else.
even feed ourselves. We can't even feed
Hmm.
ourselves. You understand what
But you
I'm
know,
saying? So
you
that
were
we
talking.
really, I would hope that right now we're taking stock. We're looking in the mirror and we're asking ourselves some hard questions. I really hope that this time that people have been home, that we've been having hard conversations with ourselves about where we want to go.
True,
So
true. But you know, you were talking about those like the technical vocational schools and so forth. You know, we actually had my understanding of some of even the secondary schools. Goodwood Secondary School, for example, should have been a theatre and arts school, and Speyside High
right.
should have been, you know, that kind of the seaboat building and that kind of thing. But
Yes,
because
yes, yes.
it was good on
Technicals.
paper and we could not actually actualize it, all of the schools just ended up being like every other school instead of becoming the
Right.
need that
And
they should have
that's
become.
and and that is because we've had a lack of will at the level of leadership. When you have
Exactly.
leaders who really just don't give a damn other than to collect their salary at the end of the month and pressure people, because that's all they're doing, collecting a paycheck to pressure people, and they've done nothing to improve the lot of the majority of us,
Exactly.
right? You have a select group of people who can live good in Tobago and the rest are we suffering. Why
Everybody
should
else
that
is
be?
sore.
Yeah. And you know what makes me even more probably upset is that they're vexed with you for being vexed for suffering. Obviously, I will vex. I watch it, it's like I
Oh,
just kind of don't understand the idea. It's like you're not doing anything for me, but you're vexed that I know
that
that you're
I.
not doing anything for me. So
Mhm.
then you want to victimize me. You want to pressure me. Like, really? I don't under pressure already. You want to come again? I just smile in their face and be like, oh God, God is love.
So here,
Today for you, tomorrow for me, right?
so we have been at this for about over 2 hours now. I want to end on a
Me,
couple
I've had so
real.
much fun.
I know it's after 10. Listen, it's after 10.
I've been having so much fun. Wow. Let
Let
me
me
dress
ask
up to
you.
stay home on a Friday night.
Let me ask you too. You know, people talk about
Next week
here.
we play music next week, eh?
We doing what?
We playing music next week, eh?
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, definitely. We forget
We have
this
to
whole thing.
buckle on
Like
Bob Marley and thing.
exactly. So no, talking about Bob Marley. How long have you had your dreads?
Mhm. Ooh, I started them in 2017.
2017.
So 2017. I actually started them with extensions. So like the last 6 inches of my hair is
Oh, because I'm like,
extensions
what
and the
in the
rest is mine.
living? Okay, okay,
So
okay, okay.
yeah, no, my hair grows, but it doesn't. No, because if you check my face, well, I don't know if they're on a Facebook profile, but I cut my hair, so they grew from scalp. So the
Mm.
extensions were put in, and then they grew from, so that I have like about 8 actual inches being mine, and the rest is just the other
I
ones.
did.
But
Well,
the
whoever
reason
did
why I
that did a real
decided
good job
to,
because you can't tell.
yes, Kizzy, a girl named Kizzy McLeod. I'm really particular about my hair. I've always had long hair my entire life. So when I cut my hair in 2017, to be quite honest, what precipitated me cutting my hair was that 2017 was probably the hardest year of my life. I was
Mm.
suffering from deep depression, and my hair actually started falling out. I've never
Oh,
said this publicly. My hair actually started falling out. So people who grew up with me always knew me for my long hair. And then I realized that my depression was actually manifesting itself physically. So when my hair started falling out, I think that kind of was a last straw for me. And I kind of just decided to take the plunge. And I cut my hair, and when I cut my hair, I looked 12. I really went back in time
can
in terms of how
imagine.
I looked. My short hair made me look like a child, but I was a cute child, and I really enjoyed having short hair, just get up and go. I could wash my hair every morning, and just I had natural curls, so I didn't have to do anything with it. I didn't really have to put any product in it. I'll just go. But I think growing locks, as I said, 2017 was my hardest year because it was the year that I kind of really honestly decided to treat with my depression. So,
Hmm.
and that was a journey that I had to take. So that started when I decided to grow my locks. because I think that with locks, you know, they always have there's a standard of beauty that, especially as black women, there's this pressure to look a particular way, you know,
Yeah.
to be accepted, whether it be in corporate culture or to be accepted by the opposite sex, you know, the weave and the big boobs and the body have to look a particular
Mm-hmm.
way. And I think that with locks,
Oh, please don't tell me that it's gone again. So while we wait to see if she's coming back, you know what? I think this may be the point. Actually, this may be the point where her internet cuts out. This may be the point where that happens. Yes, and I'm hearing you again, Tashia, even though you're off. So, Giselle is
I
asking,
know
what an excellent
this is
session.
crazy.
Try calling in next time. Will be nice. I don't know. I don't know how to do that. I will have to figure that out, Giselle. I don't know how to do it with that this particular program. Giselle says short hair is live. Short hair is live. Yes, yes, it certainly is. And I know she's there
Why do
trying
I
to
keep
get
like
back
bumping up?
in.
Like seriously.
Uh, Crystal, thank you. Thanks for sharing your story. Read 2017. Yes, actually, this is the first time I had even heard of that story. So I am learning about her too. That was pretty, yeah, pretty honest of her. Thank you. Giselle said, "Did you even take a sip of water?" No, she didn't. I've been the one who've been drinking water. Proud of you, my lady. I would definitely. Well, she would see the comments. She would see the comments too, and she's probably the thing with this program is she's probably looking at all of this happening now and can't join because of how the system is. So, all right. So I think that may actually be the Most High saying it's time to wrap up. Thank you all so much. Thank you all so much. This has been a wonderful session. We will continue to have these sessions where we bring in additional people so you get a sense of who we are and what we are about and what we do and who we are and all of that good stuff, all of that good stuff. We'll continue doing it because this is one way of knowing a little bit more about us. Because as I said at the beginning, there are certain things you are not going to hear or see on the platform, but these are real people. These are real people who are real people. Real people who are real people. So yeah, I think I promised the last time that I will end by showing you the video again that she produced just before she was launched. So I would end by showing that so that you would see, and then we would close off the live. Crystal is saying she was an inspiration to me since primary school when she participated in storytelling. Oh, you see, I didn't even know she was a storyteller. Maybe we'll have to tell stories next time. Oh, that would be cool. That would be cool. Mark is saying you both are beautiful women to represent Tobago and the people. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Mark. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Giselle is saying, I am in agreement with you in this, meaning that this is an opportunity for us to talk through and get to learn us and that kind of stuff. This is wonderful. This is wonderful. So as I said, thank you all so much for joining. Oh, is she back? Is she back? Is she back? She's trying to come back on. I don't know if she's actually there. Let's see. Let's see if it works. The thing about this is that it takes a little bit of doing over and doing over and doing over to get it on. So even though um yeah, all you're seeing is a blank screen. All you're seeing is a blank screen, unfortunately. So guys, I am going to end by doing the you know what this is going to do? She does not do lives. She doesn't do lives. I am going to push her to start doing her own life to come and do this kind of stuff because now that she's comfortable with it, it is a good idea. It is something that she can run with. So, hey, let me just play for you just before we end the footage that she had created as we were launching her. And again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you all so much for being a part of this. Thanks for the questions, wonderful questions. Thank you. This has certainly been a blessing, and I appreciate this a whole lot. So, guys, good night. You can listen to the live, you can listen to the footage, you can look at the footage, and then that would be it. Have a good night. Love y'all.
Is never about image. The appearance of strength is easy enough until you have to display that strength. To choose to serve sometimes is a very lonely road. Never forget your why. Our people, our politics speaks to the values we hold near and dear, the things that are most important to us that have shaped who we are as a people. Family, wisdom from our ancestors, education, commitment to purpose, humility, kindness, integrity, service, and love. In all things, take heart. Know that no one is as brave or as noble as he seems or even proclaims. But nothing is insurmountable, including our deepest fears. My name is Tashia Grace Burris, and it would be my greatest honor to represent you, the constituents of Tobago West, in the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago.
Bye. Have a blessed night, folks. Bye.